The next topic we're going to discuss on Boxing Bros is William Scull will step aside for Canelo to face Edgar Berlanga, although we're not sure if he even knows it yet. All right, so we're going to take a look at some of the evidence out there that's pointing towards what we're saying. So here we're going to take a look at this tweet from Michael Benson. And Michael Benson tweeted, told by William Scull's promoter, Agon Sports, that although they've agreed a deal with Canelo Alvarez reps, that the fight may not be happening next. After all, Scull is sharing posts on social media suggesting fight is next, but agreement may in fact be a step aside deal. So Skull's posting like his fight with Canelo's next because they reached an agreement. But what he's hearing from the promoters is that there may be a step aside deal in place. And so now we're going to take a look at an article. So if you look here, it states Canelo Alvarez could face Edgar Berlanga next in September, not his IBF mandatory William Scull as previously believed. Earlier today, William Scull's team reported agreeing with undisputed super middleweight champion Canelo's team to avert a purse bid, step aside deal for Scull. Now there's speculation that this was a step aside deal for Scull and that Canelo would instead face WBA mandatory Edgar Berlanga in September. Salvador Rodriguez believes it could be a step aside that Scull agreed to, in that Edgar Berlanga has let his team know that they will have to get ready for Canelo in September. Team Canelo must still clarify whether Berlanga or Scull will be next. Berlanga would be the lesser of two positions for Canelo. If the Mexican star has made up his mind that he wants to defend against one of his mandatory challengers, Berlanga is a better option than Scull. However, Canelo would be kicking the problem down the road. He would still need to defend against Scull in his next fight if he wants to keep his IBF title. Of course, Canelo has the kind of money to pay step aside to Scull indefinitely unless the IBF puts his foot down and demands he face their mandatory. So that is what's out there. Trill dollar bill. Trill, you there, man?
I am here, my brother. I was looking up some things because I had a message already from here. Because I be getting the inside joint when it comes to my man Saul. You know what I'm saying? So this is what I'm thinking. We face Berlanga in September, right? May we take on William, and then September we beat up on David Benavidez. And then we might just ride off in the sunset. You know what I'm saying? Who knows? 2025 might be the retirement year of Saul. You know? Yeah, I see that. I see they giving the homeboy William Scull, give him like 100,000 so Berlanga can get that butt whooping, because they feel like, you know, they're gonna give him 100,000 in tens and twenties. Edgar Berlanga, I mean, listen, he's not ready, but he got the call because he's more known than William Scull. His name rings more than William Scull's name rings. The guy, Berlanga, he got the 20 wins with 17 KOs.
16 in the first round.
Yeah, then he had the first 16 was in the first round. Then he went on a tier where he couldn't get nobody out. I think it was just his last fight he was in where he got the stoppage. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what I see. I see September Edgar Berlanga. I see May William Scull for the IBF, and then September 2025. I think we see David Benavidez. And then my man Canelo's going to be talking about retirement after that. Maybe one more fight in May or something to say, for Cinco de Mayo. I don't know, but yeah, but that's what I'm thinking. I think that's the road that Canelo's going to take. You know, that's what it is. These guys is. I don't. I just see an easy road. I don't see none of these guys got no smoke for my man Canelo. They don't bring no threat. This is easy season for him. You know, easy season. Even though I hear that they're trying to make the Canelo Crawford fight, that's cool. But I don't. I know what I think is realistic. What realistic is Edgar Berlanga, September, and Eddie's a funny guy. In September, and then you have William in May, and then Benavidez in September 2025.
Yeah, when you said that about Eddie, it's like when you realize he signed Edgar Berlanga just to get beat by you know where Eddie was meeting with him, he was like, "I'm gonna get you that Canelo fight. I believe."
He said, "I'm gonna sign you a 3-fight deal, baby." He already gave him these 2 easy fights. You know what I'm saying? The Quigley fight and the last buddy he beat. Now for his troubles, he gonna go get his face rearranged.
Nah, but Eddie told it to him like he believes he can beat Canelo though. That's what that's what it is right now. All right,
you know it's so bad. You know it's so bad. I don't even think that Edgar Berlanga thinks that he can win. The only thing I keep hearing them talk about is the money. Y'all mad because I'm getting that bag. Y'all mad I'm the one getting chosen for that bag. Never once did I hear him say, I'm going to be the one, you know what I'm saying, to put that beating on Canelo. Y'all mad because it's going to be the young guy coming out here going to be too fast for the old guy. You know what I'm saying? None of that. He just, at least he know what it is.
He's picking out jury.
Not delusional.
He's picking out jury and everything. All right. Look, this is just an example of how Canelo can't win because he had to fight William Scull or else he had to vacate the IBF. And so I remember the storyline was, he's going to fight to keep his IBF belt and duck Benavidez. Like, what? So you want the man to give up his belt to fight Benavidez? Like, what kind of sense does that make? So he agrees to a step aside and he's going to fight Edgar Berlanga. And I can already hear people saying like, oh, he's going to fight Edgar Berlanga. Why not pay step aside to fight David Benavidez? Because Berlanga is going to satisfy the WBA mandatory. At the end of the day, you can't really win if you're Canelo. But if you give Canelo that deal that he's looking for against David Benavidez, then he'll pay the step aside to fight David Benavidez. But other than that, why would he just give up his titles like that? So Canelo versus Edgar Berlanga is the bigger fight. Scull isn't known like that. Hopefully they do something in the upcoming months to build his name up or to showcase him to the world. Maybe even make him fight on the undercard of Canelo Berlanga, which is what I'm talking about when I say create storylines. So the storyline is going to be William Scull is next in line to fight Canelo if he can get past this guy on the undercard or whatever. So that way people can see him, have exposure to him, and know who's next, as opposed to just making these fights for the sake of making these fights. When you talk about these mandatories not being interesting, most of the time it's because people aren't familiar with the person who has mandatory status. Even Devin's fighting Sandor Martin. A lot of people aren't familiar with Sandor Martin, which is why the fight isn't as popular. But if he had more exposure, then perhaps people would be interested in him. Because if you know about Sandor Martin, you know that he beat Mikey Garcia and he gave Teofimo Lopez a hell of a fight. So it should be more popular. It should be more people wanting to see that fight. But because people, unless you're a diehard, you don't know these things about Sandor Martin, you're not really into that fight. So with that being said, I look forward to seeing what Canelo does. Edgar Berlanga, I'm not going to lie, I don't think he has much of a chance against Canelo, but this is boxing. anything can happen. But I'm not mad at Canelo for keeping his belts because he's the one who gathered them and brought them together in less than a year. And there were people in the division a lot longer than him, and they couldn't even keep their belts.
Tell Berlanga to join Snack. Let us know how you feel in the comment section. Please like and subscribe. Check us out on Instagram and Twitter, and please check out our podcast on all major streaming services. You know who you rocking with. It's the Mighty Mighty Boxing Bros. I'm the Commissioner Trill Dollar Bill. It's my brother Cadence, LLG for life.